When we think of the most horrific of crimes, the ones so morally repugnant and barbaric, the widespread ones that make you question humanity, it can help us cope to believe they happen somewhere else, somewhere far away. That's why this weekend's FBI prostitution sting and capture of over 150 pimps was so disturbing. Over 100 children rescued. Sexual slavery here at home. How does it still happen?
My dad was never a nice guy. He would beat my mom, and one day she told me to run away. I was scared, so I did. And I met this guy who let me stay with him. I do favors for him all the time. I didn't understand what I was doing. I was only 11.
We would always hang out after school and walk around together, just to have some fun. Maybe get some ice cream. One time we got really late and a car pulled up next to us. Some guys got out, and one called me beautiful. They asked us to get into the car, so we did. They seemed so nice.
My uncle lives with me and my family. He usually comes home late at night with, my friend. I don't see him much. He's always with his friend in his room. He keeps the door shut. She's different every time. I don't know how he has so many friends.
I grew up on the streets of Oakland. Stuff happens all the time. People stop noticing, or I guess stop caring. It becomes invisible. I watched a lot of my friends get forced into cars. What goes on here, it's not something we talk about.
The sexualization of culture has fueled the world's human trafficking problem.
Also breaking tonight, accused sex trafficker Mr. Money will soon have to spend some of his cash.
Is part of this the hip hop community, but is part of it into replacement for drug crimes? Is that the case?
The New South man is accused of recruiting teenage girls in the sex industry. Action News 5's Jazz Gross joins us live with details tonight. Janice.
So you have an overpopulation of foster care youth and group home youth. You have an overpopulation of people living at or below the poverty line. You have a high homicide rate, and you don't have the level of understanding or empathy.
Cultural attitudes towards women must change in order to end human trafficking.
The culture seems to be moving in a direction of not just endorsing or promoting the consumption of women, but the violent perpetration against women. It's just kind of shocking in that sense to think that we have reached this point where, it seems like there is no conscience at all left whatsoever.
Are we going to keep walking past 13-year-olds and seeing them being bought and sold and waiting for the police or waiting for a social worker or waiting for anybody to do anything about it? We have to respond. We have to be moved into action now.
Because men in our culture are supposed to be so strong, masculine leaders, there's this idea that they can't be victims of domestic violence or sexual assault.
Oftentimes, men are unable to speak about it because they're afraid that they'll be judged.
Our sort of social stereotype is that this should be something he's happy about. When he's not, because he's a victim, that adds another layer of confusion. What's wrong with me? Why do I feel this is awful?
How is he a victim? How is he harmed? I should have been so lucky when I was a teenager. Remarks from men that clearly don't appreciate the gravity of the situation.
There is a stereotype that this is the luckiest guy in the world.
We have to respond. We have to respond. We have to be moved into action now. We have to respond. We have to be moved into action now. Into action now. Into action now. Action now. Now. Are we going to keep walking past 13-year-olds and seeing them being bought and sold and waiting for the police or waiting for a social worker or waiting for anybody to do anything about it? We have to respond. We have to be moved into action now.